की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग, ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या
brings opportunity but also demands a different level of readiness. Understanding new markets, adapting to diverse environments and building trust in spaces that operate very differently. This session, ladies and gentlemen, brings together perspectives from those who have worked across geographies and understand what it takes to scale with intent. This session is titled Scaling Beyond India, Globalization as a Growth Strategy for Indian Enterprises. And to lead this session, we have someone who works closely with businesses on growth, strategy and global positioning. May I please invite Dr. Neha Sharma, Founder and Director, Accelerate India, to please join us on stage. And as she joins us on stage, I request the delegates in the auditorium one more time to please settle down. Can we have someone from Team ESC to just ask the audience, probably they're very busy in the conversation, to please settle down? A humble request. Yeah. Let's have a huge round of applause for Dr. Neha Sharma, ladies and gentlemen, as she has joined us on stage. I now have the privilege of inviting our panelists, ladies and gentlemen, beginning with someone who brings experience in international business development across global markets. May I please have the pleasure of inviting Mr. Alexei, International Business Development Director, 1C Company, Russia. A warm round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, as he joins us on stage. Welcome, sir. Bringing perspective from driving innovation networks and technology ecosystems at a national level, may I please invite Dr. Jose, convener, Philippine ICT Innovation Network. Let's welcome Dr. Jose, ladies and gentlemen. Adding insights from leading operations within a large established enterprise, may I please invite Mr. Mayur Shah, Executive Director, Suzuki, India. Welcome, Mr. Mayur. Bringing in experience from enabling cross-border business connections and partnerships, may I please call upon Mr. Christian, CEO, Conzini B2B, Colombia. Conzions, I'm sorry, Conzions. Connexions, I'm so sorry. Some more energy in the room, ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause. And finally, contributing perspectives from business development and international engagement, may we please have the pleasure of inviting Mr. Devyas, Senior Business Development Officer, Virginia. Mr. Devyas. Welcome, sir. Dr. Sharma, over to you for an insightful conversation.
Thank you very much for having us here, and I'm actually looking forward for a very meaningful discussion. Previous discussion was also going on the similar theme, so let me pull my chair here so that I can see all of you. So welcome to everybody to the room. I hope nobody is sleepy, and we'll make sure that our discussion should remain so engaging so that you can understand, and the kind of impact we want to create with this session should reach to our Indian enterprises, and we can understand how to take India as to the global stage. So India is actually growing, as we all are seeing that the kind of growth India is actually taking, not only in the population stuff, though we are actually heavily populous country right now, that's an asset for us, and instead of having a problem with that, because the population that is growing is not only creating trouble, rather we are actually producing the productive population, which is engaged in innovation, engaged in technology, engaged in advancement, and this is how we can see the growth that is coming in the form of economy in India. Not only the tech advancement, but also in the manufacturing stage, the kind of work India is actually bringing on, the education, that we are open enough to bring changes in our education policy so that we can make a shift in global dynamism. So just to start with, I would like each one of you to take 30 seconds to 1 minute so that our audience can understand your role in global ecosystem and what expertise you are bringing to the table. So a brief introduction from all of you. Let's start with Mr. Alexei.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Neha, Sharma. Everyone, good day, ladies and gentlemen, friends, partners. I'm Alexei Novikov. I am from OneC company, which is one of the biggest software vendors from Europe. Our services and products being activated in more than 100 countries, and our customer base more than 1.5 million businesses who use our software and services on daily basis. And we're going global, we're going well, and I'm helping company for the last 20 years with the expansion globally, and I think we very like also here to be here in India. We saw how talented and well developed this market is, and we think this is a very promising country for us as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. First of all, thank you for having the Philippines here. Just like my colleague, I have more than 20 years of experience in building digital innovation ecosystems in the Philippines, especially from the grassroots level. Yesterday, we were talking about trying to develop the potential of Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities in India, and that's where I am at in terms of growing innovation in the Philippines. The strategy is really to create collaboration among academic, government, and industry. And for the last 3 years, although now I'm back in the private sector, I have served as undersecretary. That's the equivalent of deputy minister for the digital ministry. But one thing that I'm so happy about is the opportunity to serve as ITU counselor of the Philippines. As you know, ITU is the UN agency for information and communications technology. And today I still sit at the Digital Innovation Board of the ITU as one of only 2 ASEANs creating innovation ecosystems in the world. And I've always been happy to deal with Indian companies over the last 20 years coming to the Philippines. Thank you.
Yeah, namaste. Good afternoon. I'm Mayur Shah, and representing Suzuki R&D India. Don't ask me why, but I ended up writing my thesis in Japanese. I lived in Japan for 16 years, and now whole my life was between R&D and finance, and I'm heading now Suzuki R&D's operations in India. Suzuki is a household name, thanks to Maruti Suzuki and the bikes that we produce and sell and service in India. But I'm into a different kind of vertical that in the further deliberation would love to kind of share more, and looking forward to a wonderful session today.
Buenas tardes. Good afternoon. My name is Cristian Salamanca. I am from Colombia. I am the CEO of Connections B2B. We aim to help Indian companies make connections with Latin American companies. Part of my background, I came to India 20 years ago. I was a teacher in Mumbai, and I just fell in love with India as a country. I was also the executive director of the India-Colombia Chamber of Commerce for more than 11 years. I was also part of the TCS business relationship manager in Colombia as well for Latin America for the TCS ION unit. So as you can see, my experience is in the region. We have assisted thousands of Indian companies coming to the market. So I hope I can give you some insights of how to do business, especially with this region that is becoming more important every year. Thank you so much.
Thanks everyone, namaste. My name is Dave Diaz and I'm representing Loudoun, Virginia in America. We help Indian companies of all types and sizes. And so everything from a startup will help you to find space, to connect to the ecosystem. We do pitch competitions every 2 years for $1 million US. And so we really help startups also with training and business planning. We also help mature medium to large size companies also located to the United States as well. The unique thing about Loudoun, it has opportunities for greenfield space and manufacturing and warehouse spaces to different kinds of offices. And so we help all kinds of technology companies as well. Loudoun County has the densest AI infrastructure stack in the world. We have 50 million square feet of data centers and another 10 million square feet underway. And so that has created a very great ecosystem for technology companies from AI to quantum computing and other emerging technologies to locate and really succeed there. The other thing about Loudoun is you'll feel right at home. 11% of our population is Indian. That's the third most in the entire country. And so we take a lot of pride in that, and so that when you do come to this area, even if you don't personally set up or locate and in the area, you know you've got a place that feels like home. Thank you.
Thank you very much for bringing the kind of strength we have on the stage right now for all our audience. Starting with, I think the question is no more remain why global. The question is how to go global. So Indian enterprises are no more asking that why to go global, right? So they have surpassed that question. The question is right now, in the uncertainties, the time of uncertainties, there is a war zone going on, and I'm not sure how globalization, and I would like to understand from each one of you what globalization means to you. Is it export? Is it partnership? Is it, and how to deal with the current situation? What is globalization in 2026? Starting with you, Mr. Day.
Yeah, thank you. I think with globalization is, I think when you think about your own business and how you started it and why, you probably identified a problem that somebody else wasn't solving. And so, to me, in my mind, when there's more uncertainty, that's where the most opportunity is. In the United States, the Defense Department is actually feverishly trying to work with local startups that have a lot more innovation in a lot of technologies, and not just working with large contractors. And so there's huge opportunity for startups and to subcontract with companies. And oftentimes you can work with companies that have security clearances where yours might not have to. And so I think what globalization, particularly in this context, in a situation where we have a lot of a war and turmoil and those kinds of things, is that now's the opportunity for you to look for where is the opportunity for my company. If your company tends to work with industries that are regulated or government-based industries, there's actually a ton of innovation happening right now. And you just have to reach out to the area, the group where you think your company fits in, and see where there might be an opportunity.
Perfectly, right. So we need to try and understand where the opportunity lies right now, even something from your side, that in this dynamism, where do you find globalization and how easy it is?
Yes. There is a say in my country that while someone cries, someone is making the handkerchief. So of course, like they just said, no, yeah. So opportunities are there. So you need to find a way out how to find the right opportunity. Of course, there is people sometimes tend to feel what is going on is becoming difficult and all, but we cannot think like that. In a region like Latin America, opportunities for partnerships are there, no? Because we know the strength of the Indian market, but we also have ideas of the Latin market. So finding the right partners is an opportunity to make it. There are companies like TCS, Tech Mahindra, and all that are growing, that are striving in the country, in the region especially, and they are growing by the day. And we have seen also how other small and medium companies from India are entering the market and they are succeeding. So you need to find the right partner. That is my take. Of course, it's a global market, but also don't forget that although you are reaching other countries, you need to think about how to deal locally. Customs, language, visit the place is also important to understand. But the opportunities are there. I think the opportunities are there. These movements that are happening right now, we should feel challenged, not demotivated, but challenged to find those opportunities.
Partnership is your take, basically, and now the mic has come to somebody who has grown in this country through the partnership only. That's the best example. Yeah, your take, Mayurji.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'll take 2 steps back. Many times I tell my team and friends as well that I never thought 21st century arrived until 2020. The reason was the COVID. That not only tasted all our resilience, it made us think to relook at the new normal in a different way. And one persistent theme, which also goes right now in terms of whatever geopolitical situation here is, disruptions. Interestingly, India is at a very, very sweet spot. Like Dave mentioned about how Virginia is doing in US as well for the startups and all, but same thing is happening in India. Today, the business models are getting disrupted at every second in India. Even a company like Suzuki cannot be in a comfort zone anymore. So what I have done is I have created something called Suzuki Micro Mobility Innovation Lab for Ecosystem, where we reach out to the startups. And very interesting, the globalization point that you started, that many a time I try to solve Indian problem and they come back with a global problem saying, actually I have a market in so-and-so country. And I think thanks to probably people like Christian and Dave and all the fellow panelists, Alexis, Joseph, I think there are a lot of ecosystem already built in to do that. What we need to focus is on quality. We need to focus is in terms of how those things will work in. And I believe we are in the right sweet spot where we can give the wings to our startups and bring more efficiency across the world, not just India. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's an insightful thing that Japan brings effectiveness and the quality that can take you further. So partnership, quality, and you mentioned that disruption and innovation and finding the opportunity. Your take on it?
Yeah, so I agree with all that's been said. So I'd like to take the view that where I'm trained at, it's more on policy. When you talk of globalization, I co-equate it with cross-border innovation and partnership. And for me, one of the most important key is really resilience and agility of policy. I feel that as policymakers, we're not just there to create opportunities, but to create ecosystems and environments that actually open our countries to opportunities. That's very important. Over the last 24 hours yesterday, I was talking with a lot of enterprises, and they all agree that policy really impacts the growth of companies. I also co-equate globalization with regionalization. It's very important that we work with our own regions. That's why under my watch, I served as chair of the ASEAN Digital Senior Officials for 3 years, and I saw how very dynamic and impactful when countries come together, especially in the ASEAN, to create innovation. So it's important that we also create these strong regional ecosystems. Another thing is really, it was mentioned earlier in the first session, global governance standards. We need to ensure that our standards are globally accepted so that it's cross-border. And finally, I feel like when you talk of globalization, you cannot talk of globalization when there is no seamless talent, but quality of talent and inclusion. And I have to insert this in the discussion. When we talk of talent, it has to include women. As you can see, we're outnumbered here. But we need to ensure that women are also able to contribute productively to the discussion of innovation in a globalized world.
Absolutely. I certainly like the way you have brought policy into the picture, because we certainly believe that that's the first step that we need to take a step forward. Thank you for bringing your your take on globalization.
Of course, I agree with all the details that just been said. And I represent the information technology industry, so where is already India played a tremendous role. So most of the successful and big companies already run by the Indian, and it's, I guess this is a great success, and I see big potential for the India right now. And speaking about globalization, it's not more exporting right now, it's more adapting. It's more about fitting the market with the requirements. So if you want to go global, you have to feed the market, or otherwise you wouldn't scale, you wouldn't be successful. And to be scalable in the market, so you need to be local. To be local and a fast way, you have to work with the partners, where we can share, for example, our experience. We have a partner network, more than 10,000 partners, which helps us globally to serve, to sell and support our customers. And beyond the scale, of course, you need to localize your services and products and so on, things about this. And also with the partners, with the localization, to be local, you can build the trust of yourself in your market, in your regions and so on. So, and market right now changing dramatically with all the AI stuff and so on, but still you have to build the trust in the countries you go. So globalization right now more about the trust and to be the local. Yeah.
Trust and be there in the deep dive into the local culture and make things easier for you. Would like to understand from you only, Alex, because you have actually created a huge network of partners. How difficult it is to get into another market and identify the right set of partners. What have been your strategy and where you found the failures as well? Some insights from your side to those who are actually nowhere right now and they're looking forward to identify the right set of partners for them.
Yeah, I would probably come back here to the trust because our company exists for the more 35 years already. And from the beginning, we decide to work only for the partners. For example, we don't do the sales directly. We always, if customers come to us, we ask our partners to sell. So, and for such a long period, it built really big trust to us. So partners likes to work with us. And as well, our technology is so fit for our partner network, so that they have good interest to work with us. They know how to make the money with us, they know how to serve, they know our technology, how to learn it. They see from the past how we develop our products and services and platforms in the way that it's modern, it's up to the time, so with all the latest technology available, with all the go-to-market strategy and so on. So, and it's, I would say to do that, you need to be trustful, and as well you need to have a good technology and a good history in the back. And of course, the biggest thing that you need to pick up a good partners.
Yeah.
Which also should be correspond with your terms, conditions, and let's say, motto or ideas how to go.
Right. Where do you find, I would like to understand from you, Christian, where do you find that, because you're working with the companies who can enter Mexico or the Latin America and help them get into that new market, where do you find the challenges that people who are coming and looking forward for your help, where do you find the challenges from their side, and what is the suggestion that you have for them?
Yeah, that's a very good question, because sometimes, of course, India is a very big country, and the optics, how India sees other countries, it changed a lot. So, for example, I'd say Indians tend to look at Latin America as one country, but we are not one country, we are more than 20 countries. So Mexico has around 120 million population, Brazil has 300 million, Colombia 50 million, and each country is different. Even the way we speak Spanish and some meaning in the words is different. So they tend to think, I'll enter, there is only one region. No, each country has its own regulatory issues, policies, data protection, setup, regulation, salary, employment. So you need to understand that background before doing business in those regions. I will give you another example for the Indian audience here to understand. I remember the first time I saw McDonald's in Mumbai. And I remember that they came with the McVeggie, no? The fully customized one product for the Indian market. That's the way to enter a market. When you understand that you won't enter with a mac made of beef, because Indians are mostly vegetarian, so they have to design a product to be able and grow in the market.
Brilliant case study.
So it's a really case study, and it has been successful. Now you will see McDonald's everywhere. It has grown. So they understood the culture, they understood what is the need, what is the taste, they adjusted, they tested, and they grew. The same thing we have seen with TCS. For example, I was part of TCS for some time, and now they have grown. In Colombia, they have around 2,000 employees. In the whole of Latin America, it's around 25,000 employees part of TCS. What they understood, to invest in the local talent.
Correct.
Some years ago, there were a lot of Indians coming for certain projects. Now they have make sure the local talent is growing. And they bring the Indian talent only what is really, really, really required. So I think there is lack of information, lack of understanding that is important to bridge the gap. Otherwise, when you go to these markets, they are profitable, but if you don't do the due diligence, if you are not prepared, have the patience, you can fail. I have seen Indian companies coming not once, twice, thrice, even 10 times until they achieve it. So they understand the market and they grow.
So resilience is important.
Resilience is very
important, right? So we're talking about those people who are actually, they have disrupted the market in their own country, respectively, right? How about the startups who are actually trying their, foot to enter everywhere at the same point in time? Yeah. You work with startups, right? So what is your suggestion? Because McDonald's, TCS, these are the, legacies.
Yeah.
They had that kind of approach, that kind of bandwidth to, understand the markets, and they have that kind of possibilities to fail 10 times. What about those companies who are starting from scratch? They are the startups. They are bringing new products in the market, and everybody is new to, they have not even explored one market which is, covered completely by them. What is your suggestion for them?
The answer is AI. And I say that tongue in cheek, but I'm serious. Christian hit it on the head. You may not have the resources of McDonald's to figure out how to customize your solutions, the ones you've got successful locally in India. You have to do the market intelligence and the research, right? Location matters, and I think that's one of the the biggest challenges for technology companies in particular. They see themselves as global and providing something globally, but location matters. In our area, the region is over 7 million people, lots of access to all kinds of different customers, but it's quite different from Silicon Valley, Austin, or New York. And so AI really allows you to do a lot of really market intelligence quickly so that you don't have to spend a lot of resources. And you've got to figure out your market and how to customize it in the least painful way. Because each area in the United States, it's like 50 different countries, right? They're all different regulations and those kinds of things. And so I think you really do still have to do some level of due diligence. I would suggest using AI to really figure out where your company could be most successful in terms of country. Once you figure out country, then look at region and really start to contact people like us. When most people think about going to another country, they maybe think about an embassy or a federal official. I can tell you that 99% of the things you need to be successful do not come from our federal government. They come from the assistance of a local government guy like me or gal, right? Like we have here on the panel. And so you'll find that even a town or a city or a county economic development team, at least in the United States, if you find out a region, look up your local economic developer. They are really trained on how to help startups to integrate. Everything from helping you figure out how to get a visa to really helping you compete locally and get networked in quickly.
Perfect, perfectly fine. Now coming to Mayurji would like to, so we are talking about taking your solutions outside India. Mayurji has got the technology in India from Japan to provide that support to Indian entrepreneurs so that they can leverage that technology. Would like to understand your take, how you think that utilizing and leveraging that technology, still our entrepreneurs can look forward for global stage.
I'll answer it in a bit different way. Before I moved on to this role, I used to be a venture capitalist. And whenever I would evaluate any startup, I had this horse and saddle metaphor. It's simple. You have a saddle, but will it make your customer to use it as it is, or he has to change the horse? And if it's going to change the horse, then you don't have a good solution. You have to extremely respect the ecosystem that you have built up, the customer has built up. So it's very simple actually for the entrepreneurs that when you're doing research, just figure it out how useful it is going to be for every player in that supply chain or in that ecosystem. Then only your customer will accept it. I mean, everybody respond in different way, the culture and the understanding of the market and these things. But if you are really passionate about solving that one problem of that particular industry, and that's why you wanted to disrupt, I would say walk extra mile. Just because you created a saddle, I don't know whether, asking people to change the horse is the right solution or not. But if you think in that direction, it works. Specifically for my kind of solution, now the opportunities are so immense that we are working with startups who can solve India's solar farm efficiency problem, to Southeast Asia's last mile warehousing carbon offsetting problem, to mines in Africa, where it's very difficult to kind of get the right data. Even the data centers in US to figure it out what kind of ammonia level we have, kind of, because we provide the mobility solution that works on any terrain. So whenever we decide to partner with any startup, and when they come to us, we invest our time enough to understand what market problem they want to solve, what kind of ecosystem they are going to build, because in that hidden information is actually a kind of a treasure of information for us. How should I take my product so that their solution that sits on top of me is going to be much more useful.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for bringing this ecosystem to India, and I have seen the product myself. I got the opportunity to see the product myself, and I can see the huge potential it has. Very, very quick, because I have another question for you.
It's something that Mr. Mayu has said. Is that India has a strength in that is that whatever product you develop here is mostly suitable globally. For the market.
Correct.
So that is a strength. We have seen it in devices, we have seen it in projects, agriculture, and so many things. So that's another strength. I just wanted to highlight that.
Right.
Because that's a strength that India has.
That's amazing. Thank you very much for that. That's a compliment for me, actually, because I work with lots of startups, and I can see the kind of innovation they're actually leveraging and bringing the solution which can scale to global stage. Coming to the ecosystem thing, I want to understand from you what Philippines is offering. Where do you see that India can see the synergies with Philippines ecosystem? What are the policies that can support Indian businesses consider Philippines as their next move, maybe? Yeah.
Well, as many would know, the IT business process management space is really practically India and Philippines space. That is where we have our very long connection. And I'm happy to share that probably all the top companies in the IT BPM space, Indian companies, are also situated in the Philippines, like their second home. So that's a given. And I'd like to also share that this year there has been stronger partnerships between Indian and Philippine government. The projection is that our $3 billion USD trade figure will rise to about $5 billion. But to answer your question, I was, spent the whole morning talking to a team from, I don't know if I will say this right, Chandigarh in Punjab, Chandigarh. And I was so inspired by the fact that they are a tier 2 city. And so coming to my very specific suggestion, which could be a next step out of India South, I was talking to ESC officials. We need to create platforms where tier 2 cities in the Philippines and tier 2 cities in India can come together and learn from each other. Because many of you might be familiar with Manila, but there are a lot of other cities, just like what you said about Brazil, and I was in Brazil last week. It's a big country, but I was talking to Colombians, Argentinians, and Costa Ricans, and they all say we're a different country in Latin America. We also have our own identity. And just like in the Philippines and also in India, Punjab would be another state, Bangalore, Hyderabad. In the Philippines, we also have big mega cities that are practically outside of Metro Manila. So we have my own city, Bacolod, Cebu, Davao, Iloilo, and we have big ecosystems in the city where universities are also equally outstanding in terms of producing talent. And you will have more support from local governments because we are tier 2 cities. So to answer your question, I think that's the next step for Indian companies to look beyond Metro Manila. And I'm offering with the team that we brought here today for IndiaSoft to facilitate any investments, any partnerships, any collaboration that many Indian companies here, probably situated outside of New Delhi, coming to the Philippines so that we can equally grow in the digital innovation space.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you very much for bringing this perspective. And I think many people are joined, they are from tier 2, tier 3 cities as well in IndiaSoft. And I think that's a brilliant understanding that how we can actually go in terms of partnership, not only company to company, but ecosystem to ecosystem, cities to cities. That's a brilliant take, I must say. I have another very, very important question from all of you, because you all are looking India as a powerhouse. Now we all understand there are specific reasons, but I would like to understand from each one of you very quickly, where do you see the global Indian company being a successful company in next 5 years? What kind of global Indian company will be successful in next 5 years? Your take on it, whatever it is. Yeah, you can skip the question if it is too dramatic for you.
Yeah, I think for me it's really going after the emerging technology opportunities that will really bring a lot of success. For us, there are three. One is space and everything related to space and technology. You see what's happening around the world, not just in the United States. I'd say the second area is energy. And in particular for us in the U.S., we're very much interested in working with companies that can help us do small nuclear reactors to help us power our data centers and everything else in our grid. And then thirdly is quantum computing. We really see a lot of potential in our region for that. We've had professors there that have been studying it and working on it and operationalizing it for the past 40 years. And so I say those three sectors are wonderful opportunities for India as well.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Please listen it carefully. If you need to pivot, please pivot. Yeah.
Yeah, I think another sector is food. The food sector.
Okay.
Everyone wants to eat, get the dal and the chapati and the atta and everything. And for example, Latin America has a lot of land. So I'm sure these countries with time, they will start to invest in technologies to grow these crops to
agri-tech, basically.
Agri-tech.
Agri-tech.
Second thing is data security. It's very important, it's becoming an issue. I saw a stand today where you can purchase, putting your thumb and using the credit card. It was very interesting. So I think these two sectors are crucial. Food security, especially for countries like India, and second, data security, which is becoming very, very important every day.
Correct. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yes, please.
Again, a little different take on this one, but I'll take 2 steps back. India has been growing at 6 to 7% for the last 20 years. Eventually, it will grow at 10%. 3 things are important. Of course, the FDI, the foreign direct investment, which has been always been consistently increasing. The huge talent, skill you need to meet that growth demand. Third thing which we are betting on is the efficiency in the industry. With the same amount of people, same amount of land, same amount of capital, how we can do more. And this is a proven model globally, that when economy grows at that level consistently, you create industry standards, newer standards, and as we are living the disruptions, so unfortunately I don't have a particular industry in mind, but what I feel is the way of doing things will be India's contribution to the world. How do you do it lesser energy? How do you reduce certain steps and kind of do that? I feel India is in a kind of a gold rush, and Suzuki would like to sell the tools and jigs for the gold diggers who kind of want to do that. And last thing about the timing, and because you very emphasized on one word called now.
Yeah.
And borrowing our Prime Minister's word, yahi samay hai, sahi samay hai. Time is now, time is right. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful, great.
Well, for me, I also want to do like a different view of the question, not in terms of industry, but in terms of what my colleague here say. You know, for me, I have this mantra: innovation is not what we do; it's how we do things.
Yeah.
And so, 2 words: India is, for me, solutions and example. In terms of solutions, I see India, especially from a Philippine perspective, providing more and more solutions, especially in talent development. Yesterday, we were talking to NASCOM, and we were talking about the Future Skills Prime. And we have a lot of Indian companies, in the Philippines creating educational platforms to make things easy. So for me, India can continue towards that path in setting solutions and strategies that the world can use. Secondly, I really love the governance piece that I'm seeing. Today, I was at the STPI booth. It's the government way of supporting and establishing software technology parks. And it's all spread across the different states. And that is also one example we can follow, how you are very serious in really developing the technological expertise of different states and provinces. And of course, I have to say, platforms for collaboration. This is my first time in IndiaSoft, and I feel like this is a great platform where the world can come together. And for me, that is where India can serve as an example. It's a friendly, beautiful space where we can all enjoy and still nosebleed with all these things about technology that we're learning. So I think that is where India can become the example. How about you? Yes.
Yeah, I would confirm that this is industries definitely would be successful because human capital. India has a great human capital. I've been for the last 12 months. I've been visiting so many universities. I saw very young and talented and hungry students. And I think to ensure that those industries will be achieved by India, definitely you have people, you have students and all potentials. This is a great opportunity for the India, but I would recommend that we need to go fast. You need to go fast.
We need to be fast enough.
Be fast, yes.
Yes. So 5 years is a long journey, but let's take immediate effect, immediate steps, and then let's pick up the speed. Yeah. Now, covering the speed and picking up the speed, I have a rapid fire round for all of you. We will not think, we will just come up with one word, each one of you, starting with Dave. There are 3 questions, one market every Indian company should explore. Quick.
AI.
One mistake to avoid.
Not doing due diligence.
One capability to build immediately.
Just using AI.
Okay. Coming to Mayurji. I'll pick anyone, right? One market every Indian company should explore.
You should read about Perry Circle. World's half population lives there.
One mistake to avoid.
Don't be overconfident of what you have built. Always question yourself.
One capability to build immediately.
I mean, use AI, but also talk to people because AI won't give you all the answers.
Right, great. Rapid fire to Dr. Josil. Same questions, one market to explore by the Indian companies.
Sorry to violate one word, but AI-driven talent development technologies.
One mistake to avoid, one word.
One mistake for India.
Don't repeat the question, only one word.
Okay. Well, I cannot see any mistake, but probably not going to the Philippines.
Okay. One capability to build immediately. Consider Indian companies.
Becoming the leader in technology in the world.
Thank you, thank you. Yes, Alexei? One mistake to avoid?
I try to avoid AI. I would say agriculture for the market.
Okay.
The second one was...
one mistake to avoid. You changed the question.
Yes, for the mistake, please don't reduce the investment in the talent and the education.
Okay. One and capability to build immediately.
Use AI.
Okay. Now, Christian, you're the last one. One capability to build immediately by the Indian companies.
Learn a new language.
Learn a new language. Okay. One mistake to avoid?
Pride.
Okay. One market every Indian company should explore.
One what?
One market to explore.
Latin America. Come there. I mean, I have seen the Indians there, and many are very wealthy as well.
Great, great. Wonderful, wonderful. So this has been really a great round of discussion. I enjoyed each bit of it. I learned myself a lot, and I kept my introduction for the end so that I can also introduce myself. My name is Dr. Neha Sharma. I'm not a medical practitioner. I'm doctorate in entrepreneurship. I do lectures. I teach entrepreneurs how to be entrepreneurs. Apart from that, I am a founder and director of Accelerate India, which is a global entrepreneurship platform. Here at the platform of ESC, yesterday we launched another platform called XI Global Intelligence Platform, which is Accelerate India as a global entrepreneurship platform, but we have come up with the Global Opportunity Platform. Many of us has understood, many of us have been promoting opportunities. Seeing the opportunity, skilling the opportunity, and seizing the opportunity is the mandate of this platform, XI. Please do visit our stall. We are at hall number 5, booth number E5, 145. There are so many fights, but please do come and interact with our team. Thank you very much. This has been really, really wonderful, and I hope audience must have enjoyed immensely. And we can look forward to explore different markets and going beyond India. Yeah. Let's come up for the group.
Thank you so much for a discussion that brought together real-world perspectives on what it takes to grow across markets. What comes through clearly is that scaling beyond familiar environments requires more than ambition. It calls for trustworthiness, adaptability in approach, deep understanding of how different ecosystems and cultures function, tapping opportunities through partnership, and focus on quality and meaningful contribution, and aligning with local expectations. I'd request gentlemen and ladies to please be on stage with us for a moment, please. There is also a strong sense of how growth at this level is built over time, through timely action, the ability to pivot, and progress through capability, talent, and consistent effort. Ladies and gentlemen, what an insightful conversation. Thank you so much. To acknowledge the perspectives shared, I'd like to invite Mr. Gurmeet Singh, CEO and Executive Director, ESC, on stage. A huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Dear moderator and panelists, may I please request you to kindly accept a token of appreciation. Mr. Alexi. Thank you so much, Mr. Alexi, for your contribution. Requesting Dr. Jose to please step forward. Thank you so much for your contribution. Mr. Bayur, thank you so much for all your perspective. Mr. Christian, thank you for your time. And Mr. Dev Diaz. Maybe we could all pose for a group picture with your memento with Mr. Gurmeet. Thank you so much, everyone, for the direction and perspectives offered. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, as we move into the next session, the conversation turns.
Hello, I'm Veer Sagar. I'm giving a talk at the Global Technology Summit of the India Soft and India Electronico Expo on Tuesday, the 24th of March at 3 p.m. at the Bharat Mandapam, Hall number 3, Mezzanine. This talk is based on my 60 years of experience as a trainee, as a manager, as a supervisor, as an MD and CEO, and as a chairman and promoter. So it's based on 60 years of experience, and it's called Failure is Not an Option. It will be particularly useful for all managers and entrepreneurs. It will give them a chance to see, learn from my failures, learn from my successes, and given a chance for you to interact and pick up some of your questions and your concerns. I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday. Bye.
National approaches to cybersecurity, digital trust and regulatory oversight. May I please invite, ladies and gentlemen, with a huge round of applause, Dr. Sanjay Bale, Director General, CERT in and Controller of Certifying Authority.
Hello, I'm Veer Sagar. I'm giving a talk at the Global Technology Summit of the India Soft and India Electronico Expo on Tuesday, the 24th of March at 3 p.m. at the Bharat Mandapam, Hall number 3, Mezzanine. This talk is based on my 60 years of experience as a trainee, as a manager, as a supervisor, as an MD and CEO, and as a chairman and promoter. So it's based on 60 years of experience, and it's called Failure is Not an Option. It will be particularly useful for all managers and entrepreneurs.